Hi, and welcome to 21st Century Healthcare Consulting's podcast. Our working title officially today is Home Care Today. My name is Kate Rose. I'm your host, and joining me today for the first time is Mercedes Andrus, who is the licensing director for the licensing team here at 21st Century Healthcare Consulting. Thank you for joining me.
I am so excited to be here this morning, Kate. Thank you for having me.
You know, we've talked about this podcast for a long time, and I'm grateful for your patience and your presence this morning. I hope that you're relaxed and you can enjoy just a leisurely conversation, not only with me, but also with our audience. We're here today to talk about healthcare in the 21st century, but also how it affects people's lives on a very personal level. We have both the business side that we're concerned about here at 21st Century, but we're also very, very concerned about the families and the other businesses in the industry that we're able to reach out and help support with services and our products. So let's go ahead and jump on into it. Tell me a little bit about your experience just in general with the healthcare industry.
Oh my goodness. Well, it goes back several decades, actually. I have been in the healthcare industry for over 35 years. Started at a very young age and really just fell in love with helping people and the reward that I received personally from just the gratitude that people that you're helping have. So I have a long history in home care within skilled nursing facilities, assisted living facilities, memory care. And many times over the years, home care has, intertwined with those industries.
So you talk about the reward being the gratitude that you receive
Yes.
from the people that you help.
Yes.
Would you say that still motivates you today?
It absolutely does. That's one of the things that I love most about 21st Century Healthcare Consulting is that when a client contacts us, it's really an opportunity to get to know them personally and also to help understand what their dreams are and really help them to realize those dreams through the starting of home care or home health agencies.
What's a typical day like for you here at 21st Century Healthcare Consulting?
Well, we are blessed to be able to take care of people all over the country. So we work in 5 different time zones. So we start early in the morning and we finish, into the evening so that we can be available to our customers regardless of what state they are in. So we respond to new clients who want information. They call us and very often sometimes don't even know the questions that they should be asking, but we help them through that process.
You don't know what you don't know,
That's
right?
exactly right, yes.
Yeah.
So really just getting to know them, what their goals are, and then seeing if it's a match for the services that we offer at 21st Century and whether that, could work for them. We do a lot of education with our clients when they first call us. Their first contact is with the sales part of the organization, where we really can walk through the different types of agencies that we can help them start.
So there are different types of care that you all are specific to for helping people set up their businesses. What types of care do you all focus on here?
Absolutely. So there are what we call non-medical as well as medical types of agencies. And then there's also hospice, which can be a combination of both.
What is the difference between medical and non-medical?
A non-medical agency is one where you are not providing skilled nursing services. So there are 2 different types of non-medical agencies. One is a companion care agency. With that type of agency, the best way to describe it is that it's really no hands-on with the client. So you're truly providing that companion care, possibly helping with things around the home. It's a very good service for people that have dementia, who have a spouse that maybe needs to go to their own appointment and shouldn't leave their loved one home alone. It can provide services such as, cooking a meal or transportation to an appointment, that kind of thing. The other type of non-medical agency is a personal care agency. That's where we help people with activities of daily living. Things such as bathing, dressing, grooming, medication reminders. They We do not provide nursing services with those agencies, but some states do require that you hire a registered nurse. And the purpose of the nurse in that case would be to do the initial client assessment and put together the care plan.
I see. Now, you talk about different types of services and different areas of the country that you all offer your services to. I would imagine that there are different licensing requirements as well for not just the different states, but also the different types of care. Is that correct?
Yes, that's exactly right. And each state has their own set of regulations, and that's part of the education that we provide here at 21st Century Healthcare Consulting is the education on those requirements. Interestingly enough, some states allow you to have a home health and home care agency without being licensed, which I find very interesting.
That is interesting. Surprising,
Yes,
actually.
surprising.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So what is exactly your job here at 21st Century Healthcare?
So I am the Director of Licensing, and what that means is that I work with 4 teams of people who serve our clients all over the country. The 4 teams each have a set of 12 to 14 states that they help support, and we assign clients as they come in and as it makes sense, and by category at this point. So in the beginning, when they reach our department, we introduce ourselves, make sure that they know who their licensing team contacts are, and then we start gathering information. We help them create their corporate documents, their articles of organization, and then we start gathering information to complete their licensing applications. And those applications, as you can imagine, are also very different by state. Some are online, and believe it or not, there are still many that are done by paper.
That sounds like a lot to manage.
Well, it's
I bet you have a good team.
I have an amazing team. Yes, I have some people on the team that have been here many years, so I consider them expert, and very lucky to have them. And I can tell from the people that they enjoy working with the clients as well. There's a lot of customer service involved. We have to realize that the clients, they hire the consultants because we are the experts. So, very often you'll have a client call many, many times, and sometimes with the same question over again, but that's okay. That's what we're here for.
I would imagine it's a lot for the people to learn as they're starting the business, and perhaps they're familiar with the industry somewhat, but once you do a deeper dive into it, you realize that it can be complex. And I would imagine that your opportunities to help people weave their way through all of the systems and policies, procedures, compliance issues, and what have you, is a big part of what you all do here.
It absolutely is. Our process is very well designed and laid out, and it is just that, Kate. It is taking them from the very first step through each step, and we have different parts of not only the licensing team but also the clinical team that gets involved with the client along the way, and it's very methodical. So as long as we're following the process, the outcome will be good.
Take me through a conversation that you might have with someone as you're explaining to them the importance of regulatory compliance, licensing compliance, and so on and so forth. What would that sound like? If I were to call you and ask you, can you tell me what it means to be able to be in compliance with the regulations that govern my state, my area of care, what would you share with me?
Well, I would share that compliance is a critical component of having a successful agency, that each state, as we've talked about, does have its own regulations, and it's very important to start a quality assurance program very early on. As soon as you get licensed is our recommendation. 21st Century Healthcare Consulting offers 4 different tiers of quality assurance programs that we educate the client about.
How do you educate your clients about this?
So we talk about it, and then we share. We have documents that lay it all out so that they can, refer back to it after our conversation. Everything that we talk about is then followed up with documentation. Very often they have a business partner that they might want to share it with, or a spouse that's joining them in the business. So it's very good and helpful for them to have it, in front of them.
how do you make sure that the businesses you work with stay compliant?
Well, we recommend on the front end of the process at the sales team, also through licensing and with our clinical team, that they really should be auditing their files on a regular basis. Essentially, a home care survey, whether it's from the state or an accrediting body, is one where they're going to be looking at the client and employee records. So we have a very good system set up with to teach them about what those records should look like, so that they do stay in compliance. And they should be checking those on a fairly regular basis, and we can help them do that if they'd like us to.
I suppose it doesn't happen often, but if it should happen that there is an investigation into a compliance issue with one of the businesses, how do you handle that? How do you come alongside and help that business to navigate the auditing process?
Absolutely. So hopefully we know ahead of time when a survey is scheduled. Some states, you do have the luxury of having a survey scheduled. Other states, they do show up unannounced. But if there are any deficiencies, we do partner with them to help them create a plan of correction, which is something that is part of our package with our agencies. So they will work with a registered nurse clinician who is familiar with the regulatory requirements in their state and create an acceptable plan of correction.
Is that something that you all have to navigate very often? Do you find that the work that you do with the companies is sufficient to keep them on a pretty good track, that they have the information that they need to make sure that they are compliant all along the way, not just in the beginning, but for the lifetime of the business?
Actually, I do. It's the exception, not the rule, when there are deficiencies that we need to answer to. So I would say that our system is excellent. We have been helping people for over 28 years in all 50 states.
So you have some experience.
We do.
Talk to me a little bit about how you make sure that your clients' records and documentation are kept in such a way that they are going to meet licensing requirements.
Right. So we have what we call an office setup process, and that is where we educate the clients on all of the different items that need to be included in a client file as well as an employee file. And they should be in specific order as well. The easier that you can make it for a surveyor, the better the outcome has been my experience for sure. So that as well is provided in writing. We review it on a Teams meeting with the client, giving them ample opportunity to ask questions about, anything that they might come across in that process. And if they follow the process, the outcomes can be very good.
I would assume that you're familiar with the major national accreditation agencies.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about those agencies.
Okay. There are 3 home care and home health accrediting organizations that we work with. We work with CHAP, ACHC, and the Joint Commission. And each of those accrediting bodies, the function of them is to help home health agencies become accredited. What that means is that in order to participate and receive Medicare as reimbursement for home health services, an agency needs to be accredited. And as we all know, the aging of the population with more and more people 65 and older, when you're 65, you automatically qualify for Medicare as insurance. So most people in that age group or older want to be able to access Medicare as their insurance to be able to pay for home health services.
How do those national accreditation agencies interface or intersect at a state level?
So in some states, they work hand in hand with the state. In others, they have a separate process. Some states, they have actually allowed the accrediting body to perform both surveys, the initial survey and the accrediting survey. And in other states, it's a 2-step process. So again, another difference depending on the state that you're in.
Tell me a little bit about the way you work with your team from a training standpoint to make sure that they are up and running with the things necessary to help those people who call you on a regular basis. needing help to understand the licensing process, the compliance processes, and so on and so forth. How do you work with your team in order to make sure that you're delivering the services that you feel comfortable being the best that's out there?
Okay. So it starts, I think, and requires a lot of communication. We meet on a regular basis. We share information. The healthcare industry is one that's ever evolving. Regulations are changing, rules are changing. So we do our very best as a company to stay on top of all of those changes so that we can educate ourselves and then in turn educate the clients. One of the things that makes 21st Century very different as a company is that we have extensive training that we offer our clients. Once they sign up with us, they'll have access to an online portal of all different types of educational programs. And we also have something called boot camp, and it's not a physical boot camp, but definitely a mental one. Every month we have a different boot camp that we focus on a different type of agency. It might be non-medical this month, skilled next month, and hospice the following month, where we invite our clients to come for a 4-day training program in person, and we have experts from all over the country that speak on different parts of the business. And really, it's the goal of that is for administrators and owners to have a very good idea by the time they're finished with how to operate a successful agency.
Do you have people who come more than once to the boot camps?
We do. And some come every year. Some people make a family vacation out of it, and others come every few years. But it's always different. The material is ever changing, and I think that people get something new and different out of it each time they come.
So it sounds to me like you actually have a family here, not just here at the location for the offices, but the folks that come in for the boot camp who are repeat attendees.
Yes.
That you all see each other in a way it could almost be like a reunion.
Yes, it is actually, and it's so rewarding for us as consultants to be able to meet in person the people that we first met on the phone and have been helping through the process, sometimes for many months or years. So to finally meet them in person is very rewarding.
So you put that face with the name.
Yes, and I know they appreciate it, and I certainly do too.
If you were to think back on some of the relationships that this company has formed with different people who've started their businesses and are still carrying forward with that, are there any in particular that spring to mind that were meaningful or not just from a business success, but perhaps from a personal success standpoint?
That's a great question.
And you don't have to use anybody's name, but just in
Right.
general, what is it that you might think would be typical of that success over the long haul story?
Right. So some of our clients, stay in touch with us even after they're licensed, and they have been doing it for 10 or 15 or 20 years. And it's very nice to see it very often becomes a family business, and we get to meet the next generation. Many of our agencies have been very, very successful over the years. And a testament to that is that we very often receive referrals for other people that they, may want to start the same business because of their successes.
The best marketing is a
Yes.
happy customer.
It sure
I've always
is.
said that.
That's true.
Yes. Wrapping up just a little bit where we've been in our conversation today, what do you think 21st century healthcare consulting does best and head and shoulders above all the rest? What is it that you all bring to the table that really sets you apart as being the experts in your field and also a company that truly cares about the difference that you're making in the lives of the people who come to you for help in starting their business?
Well, that's an easy one. It really is all about customer service, being available to the clients. I tell people that we are the real deal. I sit in a building with 60 other people. We have different departments that perform different functions for people to be successful agency owners. We have a provider enrollment department that can help an agency sign up with different insurances to realize additional revenue streams. The licensing department that we've talked about, sales department, the clinical department. Our registered nurses have specific special accrediting training, so they are expert, and it's just really nice to be able to offer all of those levels of service to our clients as they need them.
So if you were to share with somebody who called you this afternoon, out of the blue, first contact, how would you express your confidence in what you all do here at 21st Century Healthcare, and how would you extend that confidence and assurance to them that they were in the right place at the right time chatting with you?
I would let them know that we were the first in the space. We have perfected the way that we assist our clients, that we truly are a team of people here to help them with whatever they need through the process. That we are available, every day, and that they know who on their team is going to be taking care of them, and that our educational opportunities really are second to none. I'm not aware of another company that has in-person training with an opportunity. It's not only the material that's shared at the training, but also what you learn from what other people ask at the training. Everybody comes with their own set of experiences. So, just being in a room with 80 people, which is our average attendance every month, which is incredible, you learn so much, and you make friends and acquaintances really for life. And many of those relationships forged at the boot camp stay in place and grow over the years. Mm-hmm. So that's very rewarding for the clients.
So it's not just about the business, it's about the experience and the relationships that support that over the long haul.
Absolutely, yes.
I have learned so much from talking with you. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your expertise, your insight. And if this is anything that is typical of what is given out as far as hospitality and leadership and expertise, my time with you this morning has really been enjoyable. Thank you, Mercedes, so much.
Thank you, Kate,
for being here. And
I
wish you all the best as you continue to do the great work here at 21st Century Healthcare
Thank you very
Consulting.
much.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I hope that it's been something that you've been able to learn from, get excited about. If you have further questions, please reach out to 21st Century Healthcare Consulting. We look forward to having you on board next time for podcast Home Care Today.